Shower Thoughts Best of the Week number 2. If TVs had volume in decibels instead of arbitrary numbers, it would not only prevent unexpected loud scenes, but also teach everyone how loud a decibel was. I just want a button on the remote that's like a half mute that I can press when suddenly I'm in the middle of a nuclear test in my living room after two people were gently whispering to one another and I had the audacity to try to hear it. Some TVs have this. It should be the absolute, most standard of features. I've never seen it personally. It seems rare. Edit. Also, how about a feature where the TV is buffered, and senses large changes in volume in the incoming sound in order to warn you to turn it the fuck down? Due to the existence of fireworks in the Lord of the Rings universe, Middle-earth historically speaking is probably only a few hundred years away from guns and military explosives. Are there any fantasy stories that make use of this advancement in military technology to offset the use of magic? Can't think of any, but haven't really read much in the genre lately. I read some analysis piece once, think it was related to a Soyuz, that suggested the existence of magic and dragons could explain why the world has such a long history, but seems locked to Middle Ages, whereas Earth history saw significant advancement in 1500 years or less. It's gotta feel so good to moo as a cow. Probably feels really good to moo. My sister had cows. We used to moo at them and they'd moo back. It was pretty fun. They were happy cows. Sometimes they would lick you like a dog. That was not as fun. It's funny how people who get a tattoo receive comments like that's for the rest of your life, while people who are getting a baby don't. People absolutely get warned that babies are for the rest of their lives, when they talk about wanting babies. The thing is, by the time you learn someone is pregnant, the time for those comments has usually passed. There was a girl whose life was a total train wreck and living in a trailer with her BF who she bragged always pulled out. She got demolished in that thread. Everyone was berating her about her future unintended pregnancy, etc. Fast forward to a future thread about her pregnancy, everyone was saying congratulations until finally one person linked back to the prior thread and called the same people out on how two-faced they were and that her life is still fucked up and objectively worse now. I always think about that. People who say they give 110% are often criticized on the grounds it's impossible to give more than 100%. Yet it is possible if the percentage is relative to outside expectations. If the target is to sell 100 items and you don't stop until you've sold 110, you just delivered 110%. The farther away you can wave hi to someone, the closer you are as friends. Toothpaste commercials are dubbed so badly so you pay attention to the actor's mouth/teeth. If any of the shows in the Bachelor franchise really wanted to have the most exciting season ever, they'd cast only bisexuals. We live in an age that takes nothing serious but everything personal. Drivers that don't use their signal are people that literally don't lift a finger to make others safer around them. Human faces in games are getting more and more realistic, while pictures of real human faces are getting less and less realistic. Just wait till it gets to streaming deepfake style people. Oh wait, it already did. Imagine in 10 years though, when deepfake technology can be rendered and streamed in real time. I dream of a game where you can pick any famous person to be played as, or replace your NPCs. Hell, maybe you could even use augmented reality to literally replace people in your life with whomever you want, at least from your own perspective. Before a child is born, the parents spend so much energy hoping that their baby is normal. Then after it is born, they hope it grows up to be something special. If traveling through different dimensions becomes a real thing, we will be severely disappointed by the fact that most dimensions will have only very slight change, such as a blade of grass moved one atom to the left instead of right. After using the Dimension Hopper 3000, Jim was disappointed and decided to return it for a full refund. This thing doesn't work. I must have used it 100 times and nothing happens, everything is identical. I'd like my money back, please. No problem, sir. Just a moment, the cashier said politely. The cashier scanned the barcode on the machine and frowned. I'm sorry, sir, but there's no record of you purchasing this machine in our store. Are you sure this is the location you made the purchase? Jim looked confused. Yes, I'm sure. I just bought it here yesterday. You sold it to me, don't you remember? I'm sorry, sir, but I don't remember you. And there's no record in our system. Jim's eyes widen. It worked? He looks around the store. It was so similar, but it suddenly felt different. Never mind. I guess I don't need to return it anymore. Seems to have worked after all. After he left the store, the cashier laughed. Another satisfied customer. Roombas keep your house cleaner by forcing you to constantly pick your stuff up off the floor so the Roomba doesn't get caught on something. If you exhale while pooping and peeing, all three states of matter are leaving your body at the same time. Technically, origami is a kind of woodworking. Like when a wolf howls and other wolves feel compelled to join in, maybe human yawning behavior is a primordial vestige of communication that's just hanging out in our instincts. Fun fact, you can see this vestigial instinct in dogs when a police siren or tornado warning siren sounds. The dog will howl back because the slide up the scale that both sirens use are very close to the slide of a wolf howl. Someone has probably taken one of those stupid "how are you going to die" tests and actually died that way. Dreams have really great graphics, but the physics engine is terrible. Perhaps morning wood is an evolved trait originally preventing cavemen from rolling off cliffs. You know you're getting old and out of touch when the first time you hear of a popular musician is when they die. Snakes kill in two ways, with hugs and with kisses. Some people can solve a Rubik's Cube faster than you can scramble it. For dogs, Santa must be like the final boss of mailmen. If people could live for 200+ years, we likely still wouldn't be able to retire until we were 180 or something. Whoever started the rumor that gum sits in your stomach for 7 years must feel like a real big shot for fooling everyone. We're raised to not talk to strangers, but literally every aspect of your life growing up revolves around talking to strangers in order to get anything done. The more you work out, the easier it is to work out, the easier it is to work out, the more you work out. Many kids are terrified that an adult will break into their room in the middle of the night, and many adults are terrified that a kid will do the same. Tim Allen and Tom Hanks had to exist in the Toy Story universe, since they had to record the voice lines for the toys' voice boxes. Loving yourself can go from being positive about you to narcissistic asshole real quick. The Mandalorian is literally wearing plot armor. Look around. Chances are in the future you will not remember this specific day at all. If 99% of the world hates you, then there are still 75,270,000 people who like you. That's like half the population of Russia. I have given you hope. If you offered people $1,000 to give you a hug, they would probably think something was up or be weirded out. If you gave them $1,000 and didn't ask for a hug, you would probably get a very genuine one. Prison is probably the only place that if you break into, they're gonna let you stay in. Gum doesn't become tasteless once you chew on it for a while, it becomes the flavor of your mouth. Smartphones probably killed the flashlights market without anyone noticing.